Hey everybody, welcome to Granny's house. Come on in and make yourself at home. Today I am about to do something super crazy. Years ago, when I was a very young mother with 5 kids under the age of 10, I found myself divorced and raising 5 children on about $900 a month. So I had to learn how to make do with what I had, and a lot of that I had to do in the kitchen because groceries were expensive, and you know, those were really hard times for me and the kids. But it taught me that I can do just about anything in the kitchen with a few ingredients. So I'm about to do something a little bit crazy today. My husband, Poppy, he wanted something sweet after dinner tonight. And so I looked and I figured I would make me a peach and blueberry crumble. But I didn't have any cornstarch and I didn't have any rolled oats. But I did have powdered sugar, and I did have Quaker instant oatmeal, maple and brown sugar flavor. So I've decided that that's what we're going to use to make this dessert, and we're going to see how it turns out. What do you think of that? I'm just going to slice these up and put them in that bowl. Hopefully this will be super quick and super easy. But it's just simple to cut it off and keep on going. And I'm not going to bore y'all to death with watching me cut all these peaches. So I'll be back when I'm finished with that. Alright, so we've got our peaches diced up, and these are frozen blueberries. So I'm going to grab a handful of those and decorate those peaches with them. Alright, I'm just throwing them in there. There. Boop. The dogs will get that. Then I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'm going to pour that over it. And this is my 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And the reason I'm using, not cornstarch, I'm so silly, powdered sugar. And the reason I'm using powdered sugar is because powdered sugar is sugar and cornstarch, and that will help to thicken the fruit when it's underneath the crumble. Hopefully. That's the theory anyway. And I'm going to stir it up. Now, your blueberries are probably going to make everything purple in here. That's alright, you're just going to eat it. Doesn't matter. See there? Woo. There you go, there's a good look at it. Isn't that pretty? Purple and orange together. I don't know why that's so pretty to me. Then, here comes the Quaker instant oatmeal. And because this already has brown sugar in it, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't pronounce, yuck, but I'm going to throw it in this bowl. I'm going to put about a 1/2 cup of flour on top. Need a fork. And I've got about 6 tablespoons of melted butter in this little bowl. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to drizzle it around. I poured about half of it in. And I'm going to make my crumble with it. Just stir it around with your fork till it's crumbly. I'm going to use all of it. This is really turning out to be easier than I thought it would. Now, I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. Whoa, that's way too much. About a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger to this. And about a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Maybe a little bit more. Make it pretty. And I'm going to stir that in. And make sure it gets distributed throughout the whole thing. You don't want one corner where it's just nothing but ginger or cinnamon. Okay, so I found a smaller dish. It is a glass bacon dish that is 1 quart, 6 by 9. And I got a little bit of butter left on my bacon dish, or my butter dish here. So I'm just going to use my hands and do that. I really don't like to do it, but that's what they make soap and water for. And Lord, the paper towels that I use. I can't live in my kitchen without paper towels. One of these days I'm going to do a top 10 things in the kitchen that I've got to have to make my life simple. Tell me down below if you'd like to hear my favorite things in the kitchen, okay? Alright, now we're going to take it from this pan to that pan, which is really a waste. I didn't want to dirty up any more dishes. But that's how it goes. Alright. That's better. Look at that. That fruit comes almost all the way up to the top of that small pan. See there? And now I'm going to take my crumble mixture. Make sure it's still crumbly. Yeah, that 6 tablespoons was perfect. I used 3 envelopes of the maple and brown sugar oats. I don't know if I said that or not. So now I'm just going to crumble it all over the top here. You want a thin layer is what you want, and that way it'll crisp up on top. You don't want to make it too thick up there, because if you do, it's going to taste like mushy oatmeal. And yeah, that doesn't sound good. Not on a dessert. So anyhow, I've made a total mess. Do you see my stove? Anyhow, what we're going to do is open up that oven and cook this crumble for about 40 minutes. If it's done in 40 minutes, I'll be back. If not, I'll wait for 45. Well, this crumble is just about ready to come out of the oven. And I will say, I ended up having to give it 5 more minutes, and it still wasn't browning up like I wanted it to. So the last 2 minutes, it's been under the broiler in the middle of the oven, not up close to the top of the broiler. Didn't want to chance it burning. But anyhow, let's check on it and see what we think. There. Look at that. I'm so tickled with myself. I really wasn't sure this was going to work, y'all. It is hot as fire, but I'm going to pour some out onto this plate. Oh, I need a spoon, don't I? Well, that'll work. See how it turned everything dark purple? That's alright, those peaches are still in there. We all know it, don't we? Now, let me say one thing about this little project of mine. I should have used cornstarch or maybe more powdered sugar, because it is a little, just a little watery. I'll show you what I mean. So anyhow, let me show you what I'm talking about. It's a little bit, can you see that? No. See that? It's a little bit watery. It'll still taste good. It just really could have used the cornstarch. I'm real curious to find out how the oatmeal will taste. Well, it tastes like a crumble ought to. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with this. It might not be my best work, but it sure made do in a pinch, didn't it? I am so happy that y'all got to join me again in the kitchen this evening. if you like my videos and my little experiment here, leave me a comment down below and maybe make some suggestions on what you want me to see me do next. Also, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe and hit the little notification bell. And that way you'll get notification every time I put a new video out. So, y'all have a good evening, and thanks again. I'll see you next time.